Hi, and congratulations on your purchase of your brand new 2018 Nissan Maxima Platinum. This is the car of cars, and I know that you're going to love it. There's a lot to go over in this car, and I know that we covered a lot during the delivery, so I hope this video is going to help refresh your memory on everything that we went through. Let's take a moment now and go back through everything, and at the end of this, if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to call, text, or email me, or stop in to have a look at. We can go back over the features again. Let's have a look at your brand new Maxima. So as we look here at this center display, we see all kinds going on here. So right up top here, we've got our main menu button. We have the same button down here in the center of our display. This screen here is customizable through the settings, where you can go in and you can edit your home menu. Our audio, which you also have a button for here, is going to bring us up here. So right now you see satellite radio, which comes free for the first 3 months. After that, if you want it, you simply go to channel 1 and it's going to give you the number and you can subscribe to it. If you want to change your source, you have lots of options here. So we've got AM, FM, satellite, CD, USB or iPod for 2 different ones, Bluetooth auxiliary and auxiliary. So USB 1 and 2 are located right down inside this little hatch here. For your phone, you can go through and it's trying to connect to a phone. It's not going to find one at the moment. So what you're going to want to do is connect your phone. So you simply go in to connect a phone and it starts talking to you. You're going to look for a device within your settings on your phone. You're going to go into the Bluetooth settings. And as you saw there, you're going to look for one that says My Maxima. From there, just follow the prompts and it's really easy to set up. For our map, I can either hit the button here or I can hit here. There's the map for my navigation system. While I'm on this screen, if I go to navigation, I can then enter where I want to go if I know the exact address. If I don't know the exact address, and I'm just looking for something in general, I can go into points of interest. I can change where I'm looking for. It's going to start, anyone that I go into is going to start with what's closest to me. And you see here, I can select the different types that I want. So all kinds of options in the navigation. Very, very simple to use. If you are going to set a home destination, don't set it for your exact home. Set it for something nearby. Heaven forbid somebody steals your vehicle. You don't want them coming to your house with it. So this way, it's going to set you something nearby that you know how to get home from there, and then you're good. So we'll go back over to the map here. Our info button is going to give us lots of options in here related to Nissan Connect services. It is a subscription-based service that you can access. And if we look, we've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto available, so I'll have a whole section in the video that goes over how to use that as well. So we'll set us back for the map. Down below here, we've got our climate control, dual climate control. So if I push the dual button here, right away I see a temperature shift. So the passenger can set their own temperature and you can have yours set. Once your passenger gets out, simply turn dual off and you're good to go. If we set it for auto, right away I see the fans starting to dial up. I'm going to turn that back down a little bit manually. But while we're on auto, it's automatically going to determine where our airflow is going. So right now it's coming out the front vents. It's also going to dial up the fan to either get us down to the temperature as fast as possible or up to it, depending on what the temperature inside the vehicle is. Over here we've got our rear defrost. So the rear defrost is also going to activate your heated side mirrors. You can manually adjust your fan here. You can manually adjust where your airflow is right through the mode button. Or if you just want it on the windshield, you just hit this button over here. So I'm going to do that for the moment. And again, right there. While we're on this screen, if I hit the camera button, I see this beautiful 360-degree round view monitor on the right-hand side. On the left side, I'm currently seeing out the front of the vehicle because I'm currently in park when I turn the camera on. If I press the camera button again, my right side camera shows me down the passenger side of the vehicle. Once more, it turns it back off. While I'm in reverse, the camera automatically comes on and now I see behind me on the left side. So we've got some lines here that are predictive lines. They're going to help predict where we're going to end up. And then we've got our distance lines, and we've got a couple of green hash marks, some yellow ones, and some red ones. As long as you stop before you're within the red hash marks, you still have room to move in and around the trunk and open it up. It gives you a good amount of distance so that you can maneuver back there. If you did need to get in really tight to something, that is your bumper, right across the bottom of the screen there, so you could get in as tight as your bumper. On this vehicle as well, with all the controls up above, you have some controls for the same thing down here. So you don't need to be trying to reach up here and try and touch anything while you're driving. You can do it all right from here. So I can use the dial here to zoom in or zoom out. I've got a button here that's going to change me to my home menu. I can hit the map button to take me back to my map. And I have a back button here, so if I'm into anything, I can do that as well. So lots of options there. Using this, moving it up, I can move up and down. I can move side to side, or I can hit the back button to come back out of there. I've also got heated and cooled seats. So my seats are ventilated. If I turn the dial this way, I start going into heated, low, medium, and high. If I go this way, I'm cooling low, medium, and high. So find what's comfortable from you and away you go. Final thing down here, we've got normal mode and sport mode. So normal mode is what you're going to be in most of the time. Sport mode, on the other hand, is going to give you a little more torque on your motor. It's going to change how it reacts. So when you go into sport mode, if I push that, up top I see sport. Very, very clear when I'm in sport mode. My RPMs are going to go a little bit higher, but the motor is going to be much more responsive because of the torque on it. So if you need to get out and around somebody in a hurry because you're losing your passing lane, sport mode is what you want, and it's going to do that. Just don't forget to put it back into normal mode, because sport mode is a little bit harder on gas. Then we've got this nice armrest in here. You've got a 12-volt power port inside, and it's a nice deep armrest. Up top, we've got our rear view mirror. It's an auto dimming mirror with HomeLink. So you can set up to 3 garage door openers on it. So if you've got a garage at home, any one of the 3 can be set on that. And it is going to auto dim as you're going. Next up, we're going to have a look at the steering wheel. So as we look over at the steering wheel, we see we've got lots of options here as well. So we're going to start on the right hand side here. This is for my Bluetooth hands-free. I can answer a call or hang up a call using this button here. With this button, I can make an outgoing call. So this is our voice recognition. I'm going to engage this to show how to set your navigation through this as well. So while you're driving, as we look over at the navigation, a lot of these buttons here are going to gray out once you're driving because it is a distraction while you're driving. So you can use the voice recognition while you're driving so that you don't have to pull over. So we're going to hit this and follow along.
You can interrupt voice prompts and speak a command immediately by pushing the talk switch. You can also use the up-down switch on the steering wheel to select an item from the displayed list. Please say or select a command.
Navigation.
Navigation. Please say or select a command from the displayed list.
Street address, 60 Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. So we see there
60
Baker Drive, Dartmouth, Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Calculate route, adjust location, or change address.
calculate route.
Calculating route.
So we see there, it's nice and
Proceed
simple.
to the highlighted route.
It is really nice and easy to go through and set up your navigation from there. Now, I am going to go in here and I'm going to cancel my route at the moment because I'm not going anywhere. But as you see, it is super simple to set, really easy to operate, all right here from my fingertips. This button here is going to turn on my cruise control. So as we watch the top of the screen right up around here, I got a few icons that show up there. I've got a picture of a car and a speedometer there, km/h below it, so that's kilometers per hour. The 3 dashes will actually show the exact speed that your cruise is set to once you set it. So you can use this button down here to set the speed or resume, increase the speed, decrease the speed, and then the cancel is just push the cancel in the center. So that will all adjust that. But we also see there's 3 lines right beside it here. So that's for the adaptive cruise control. So by default, it's set for a distance of 3 car lengths plus safe distance. Once you get within that distance, it's going to readjust your speed to match the vehicle in front of you if you're going faster than it. So I can set that down to 2 car lengths or 1 car length. Or back up to 3. So lots of options as far as the cruise go. We'll turn that back off. On the left side of the steering wheel, our source button. So if I change this over to audio, my source button here is going to change the source of my audio from satellite, and then I get a list right up here. I can go to AM, FM, satellite, auxiliary. Now we see CD, USB 1, USB 2, and Bluetooth are all options, but they're not highlighted because nothing is connected to them. If something is connected, then they highlight so that you can select one of those. So we're going to go back a screen and back out of there. The next button over here is our volume. So we've got volume up and volume down. The volume on this is absolutely phenomenal. It is a Bose premium sound system in this. So the settings, you're just going to go in, you're going to go to sound, and then you can set everything through here, and the Bose center point is on. So lots of options. Then we've got our up and down buttons here. So the up and down buttons are going to go through my presets on the radio. So if I set it for station 1, and I'm going to hit up on this, and I go to preset 2 and preset 3 and vice versa, going back down. The final buttons down here are going to control my driver assist display. So right now, the screen that I'm on is my home screen. It shows me a compass, a digital speedometer, and what's going on with my radio. So I'm going to go one screen over to the right, and then I can see what's going on with my radio. The OK button is going to change the source of my music, but as we saw, the source button will do the same thing. The next screen over is for navigation. So when you have the navigation on and you set an actual destination, as you're driving, it's going to give you directions. It's going to talk to you through the navigation system, but this particular screen here is also going to give me some info. It's going to tell me what direction to go. So it's going to show me an arrow going up and to the left or up and to the right to show me the direction of my next turn, and it's going to count down the distance as well. And as I mentioned, the voice recognition system is going to talk to me as well. My next screen over is going to give me some averages, so we're going to reset this simply by pressing the OK button. And we're going to reset all and say yes, so that we can set from a fresh start. But this will show me my average fuel economy, average kilometers per hour, distance driven since it was reset last, and the time that it's been running since it was reset last. So that's all on the driving computer. This screen will show me my average fuel economy. This is for my driving aids. So my driving aids that I have on this are automatic emergency braking in the front. The way that that's going to work is if you close the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you too fast, inside the vehicle here, it's going to beep at you, and the gas pedal is going to push back against your foot. You're also going to see a little indicator somewhere over here show up that looks like 2 cars colliding, and this screen will give you a visual warning as well. Most times if that happens, you're going to be too busy watching what's going on in front of you. When that beeping happens, if you don't react at that point, the beeping will get louder and faster, and if necessary, the vehicle will start to apply the brakes up to 60% to help avoid an oncoming collision. The other 2 pieces to this are down below here. So you have blind spot indication on this vehicle on both sides. Well, there's a vehicle in your blind spot, whichever side it's on, whether the vehicle's passing you or you're passing it. The indicator on that side of the vehicle, so let's say for example the driver's side, is going to light up and stay lit up a dull orange as long as that vehicle's in the blind spot. Now while that's lit up, if I signal to go the direction that it's lit, so if my driver's side one is on and I signal to go left, that indicator is going to start flashing, and it's going to beep at me a couple times inside the vehicle to let me know I do have a vehicle in my blind spot. The next one over is going to show me my tire pressure. As I start driving, it's going to show me the individual pressure for all 4 wheels. So if I get a low tire, it's going to pop up with a warning, and I can press the OK button in the center to make it go away. Once I do, I can come to this screen. It will show me exactly which tire is low and what the pressure is. But the beauty of that is when I go to the gas station to start putting some air in the tire, all I got to do is start putting air in the tire. I don't need to know how to read the gauge. I don't need to know what the pressure should be. Because once the tire pressure gets to the right pressure, the horn beeps to tell you, hey, you're done. So it's a really great way to be able to fill your tires and not have a whole lot of knowledge about how to do it. This screen here is going to give me a little more information about the power that I'm using, my digital speedometer. Shows me a little bit of what's going on with the vehicle. Sport mode, as I said, does show this right here. So we'll go back over to normal. Any warnings will show up here on this screen. So initially it's going to pop up with a warning. It will put a yellow triangle with an exclamation mark somewhere over here. From there, you can come to this screen here and review your warnings. And if you have multiple warnings, it'll show you all of them. The final screen that we're going to look at is our settings. So we're going to go into the settings because there's one setting I typically change in all of our vehicles, and it's how it unlocks. So we're going to go down to auto door unlock. By default, our vehicles automatically unlock when you turn them off. So we're going to change that into shift to park. So now, from here on out, every time I shift into park, it will unlock the vehicle for me. And then we're going to exit our settings screen and we're back to the beginning. A couple final buttons down here on the bottom. I've got a trunk release to open it from the inside. This button here is for my traction control to turn it off. I highly recommend just leaving this button alone unless you're familiar with driving with the traction control off, because your wheels will slip when that's off and you potentially risk the vehicle sliding from side to side. This button here, when I turn that on, that is my heated steering wheel. It's going to make my steering wheel warm up, and it'll do that for 30 minutes. After that it turns off, but if you want it back on, you can just turn it back on. And this last button back here, if I look in my rear view mirror, I see a screen way in the back. If I press down, it will lower that screen, or I can put it back up. It's just to help block some of the sunlight that might come in from the back. Over here on the door, we've got our memory seats. So find the position that you want for your seat, your side mirrors, and your steering wheel, because as I look here, it is a power adjustable wheel. So once I get the perfect position for me, I'm going to hit set, and then either 1 or 2 depending on which driver I am. For the next week or so, you're probably going to play with it a little bit. Each time that you find a better setting for you, just hit set and your number again. And once it's fully set, then it's going to remember your setting from then on there afterwards, and you're all good. We do have a beautiful moonroof on this. We've got 2 pieces to it here. The button for this is right inside here. So to open this to tilt, I'm simply going to push straight up on the button and it tilts up. To close it is the same thing. Now if I want to open it, I can push back on the button and it will open right up, or I can push forward to close it again. Now there's also a screen that'll cover all of this. So if I push forward again, even though that's already closed, both of my screens start closing over. To open them back up, I'm simply going to push back again and everything opens right up. One of the last things that we're going to go over is your key fob. So on your key fob, you've got a panic button on the bottom. Push and hold this button for 2 seconds to open your trunk. We've got keyless entry here. And we're going to go over your intelligent key system in just a moment. And then you've got remote start on the top. With your remote start, you're going to press the lock button and hold the top button for 5 seconds. Once you do that, it's going to remote start your vehicle from up to 200 feet away. It will stay running for 10 minutes or until you engage it. If you don't physically engage the vehicle within 10 minutes, it's going to turn back off. If for some reason you're running behind and you want to extend it, simply hit the lock button to add 10 minutes to the count from wherever it's at. So if it's been running for 8 minutes and you hit lock, it'll run to the 18-minute mark. From there, you do need to engage the vehicle. If you don't, it's not going to allow you to remote start again until you physically engage the vehicle. Or if you remote start and change your mind and turn it off, or it turns off after 10 minutes, and you remote start a second time, it will not let you do it a third time until you physically engage the vehicle. Now, because you have a key fob, there is a battery in this, and they're typically good for 3 or 4 years. After that time, the battery is going to start getting low, and your first indication is going to be when you go to start your vehicle by putting your foot on the brake and pushing the start button. Up here, it's going to pop up and say incorrect key ID. That means it's getting time to replace the battery in your key fob. So, if you hit a point where it's no longer working, simply put your foot on the brake and take the Nissan emblem on this, put this directly against the key fob and push with that. You can still start it a few more times like that. It's got NFC technology in it, so it will allow it to do that. However, you are going to want to replace your battery at that point. So to do so, turn your key fob around, push the little switch here, and then lift up. You do have a key inside. The key is going to give you access to the driver's side door. There is a keyhole there. Once you're in the vehicle, then you can get in and start it, as I said. But to change your battery, pop that out. There's 2 little recessed areas on either side there. One over here and one over here. Get something in there and give it a twist. It'll pop open. The battery that's inside is like a watch battery, just a little bit bigger. You can get them at any of your local drugstores or Walmart or Canadian Tire or anywhere like that that sells them. They're very inexpensive. The dollar store ones typically only last 3 or 4 months. So if you are going to get one, I do recommend spending a little bit more on one that's going to last 2 to 4 years. We're going to hop out and have a look at the intelligent key system. The final thing about the remote start is in the winter, if you remote start your vehicle and it is below 3 degrees outside, as well as your engine being cold, when you remote start, it's automatically going to put all the air up under the windshield for you to help clear off your windshield. That utilizes these side vents to help clear off your side mirror windows here as well. It's automatically going to engage the rear defrost, which activates the heated side mirrors, and it's automatically going to engage the heated steering wheel. Now, if you leave your seats in an on position, in the heated position, it will also turn those on and start warming the seats as well. Let's have a look at the intelligent key system. So my intelligent key system is this button here on the outside of the doors. There's one on each of the front doors. So as long as I have my key fob on me, it needs to be within 3 or 4 feet of the door. I can simply walk up, push the button once, and it beeps. That tells me that the door that I'm at is currently unlocked. If I push it a second time, now the entire vehicle is unlocked. Once everybody gets out and all the doors are fully shut, one push of the button, I hear 2 beeps. That means that the whole vehicle is locked. That is your intelligent key system. Congratulations again on the purchase of your 2018 Nissan Maxima Platinum Edition. This is a phenomenal vehicle. You've got a lot of horsepower. It's going to drive like a sports car, but it's going to feel like a luxury car. Couldn't ask for a much better car than this. I know that you're going to enjoy this. I know that you're going to have a lot of fun with this. But as I mentioned, if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to call, text, or email me. This video was only meant to be a reference and to go back over everything that we covered during the delivery. My contact info will follow. I look forward to hearing from you and hearing how you make out. Hopefully see you in service. And when you're ready to do business for your next vehicle, I hope to see you again.